They called me the king of rock and roll, but long before the lights and screams, I was just a boy from Tupelo. I was born on January 8, 1935, in a two-room house in Tupelo, Mississippi. My twin brother, Jesse Guerin, was stillborn. I never got to meet him, but I carried him with me every step of my life. My parents, Vernon and Gladys, didn't have much money, but they had love, and they gave it to me in abundance. Mama, especially. She was my rock. We moved around a lot. Times were hard. Sometimes dinner was just beans and cornbread, and I remember watching my folks worry about bills they couldn't pay. But music was always there. In church, the sound of gospel music filled my chest with something I couldn't explain. I'd close my eyes, open my mouth, and sing until I felt light as air. I got my first guitar when I was 11. It wasn't much, just a simple thing from Tupelo Hardware. I had wanted a rifle or a bike, but when I strummed those first strings, I knew. This was mine. We moved to Memphis when I was 13. I was a quiet, shy kid, more comfortable in the back of the class than the front. I wore flashy clothes and slicked my hair back, not to show off, but to feel like I mattered. I got picked on for it too, but that guitar, that was my armor. I'd sit on the edge of my bed and play for hours, dreaming of something bigger. I soaked in every sound, blues on Beale Street, gospel in church, country on the radio. I didn't want to sound like anyone else. I wanted to sound like everyone I loved. At night, I'd pray not just for things to get better, but for a chance, a real chance, to show the world what I could do. Deep down, I believed it was coming. I just didn't know when. In 1953, I walked into Sun Records to cut a song for my mama. I paid $4 and sang My Happiness. Sam Phillips, the man who ran the place, didn't say much at first, but something about my voice stuck with him. Then one night in 1954, while fooling around during a session with Scotty Moore and Bill Black, I broke into an old blues number. That's all right. Sam sat up in his chair. That was it. That was the sound he was looking for. Radio stations started spinning the record. People were curious. They heard something familiar yet brand new. I wasn't quite white, and I wasn't quite black. Musically, I stood in the middle, where no one else had dared to stand. And people either loved it or hated it. But they listened. I started playing shows. Small crowds at first, then bigger ones. I was wild on stage, hips shaking, knees knocking. I didn't plan it, I just let the music move me. They said I was obscene, dangerous, but I was just being myself. By 1956, everything exploded. Heartbreak Hotel hit the top of the charts, and I was everywhere. Radio, TV, movies. Girls screamed, parents panicked, the world watched. I bought Graceland for Mama. Seeing her smile made it all worth it. But the higher I climbed, the more I felt something tugging at me, like a part of me still belonged back in that little shotgun house in Tupelo. People called me a legend, an idol, but I never wanted a crown, just a stage. I missed walking into a diner and not being mobbed. I missed the quiet. I missed Mama. Despite that, I gave them everything I had, every note, every move, because music saved me, and I wanted it to save others too. If you remember me, I hope it's not just for the jumpsuits or the gold records. I hope you remember the boy who sang his heart out in the back pew of a Mississippi church, the kid who believed in dreams, the man who tried to love deeply, sing honestly, and live fully. I was Elvis. I was just a poor boy with a guitar, and somehow that was enough.